We have more evidence that this man right here, Tua Tagovailoa, despite his contract, despite where he got drafted just 6 years ago, is not a franchise quarterback, and Miami needs to start preparing to replace him sooner rather than later. I'm Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. But the three main reasons that he can't be the franchise quarterback moving forward. One, he is unable to stay healthy for most of his games. Two, he crumbles late in games almost every single time. Three, he can't play well against 500 teams or better. And four, I should say, he is very limited in what he can actually do on a football field. And I want to start by looking at his numbers late in games. We've shown this over the past 48 hours since the loss to Buffalo on Thursday night. After that late game interception, Tua is now 7 interceptions to 7 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes of a game where it is the Dolphins trailing by a score, whether it's 8 points or fewer. 1 possession game. 5 minutes to go in the fourth. 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with a QB rating into the 70s. That, to me, is just so damning on Tua Tagovailoa. It is. And I would argue that the biggest thing that a franchise quarterback needs to do to make it feel like he is your leader, the face of the franchise, the quarterback that can lead you to a Super Bowl, which is the goal and point of playing these games, is to be able to make plays when the lights are the brightest and it's the biggest moments. What do we see consistently? Patrick Mahomes did it with 13 seconds down by 3 in a playoff game to get his team in field goal range. Josh Allen does it, and he did it in week 1 against the Ravens. We've seen Justin Herbert do it at times. We've seen Jalen Hurts do it. The franchise quarterbacks, the elite QBs in the league, the ones that can win a Super Bowl, have already won a Super Bowl. Make plays happen when they need to. And Tua is incapable of doing that. More coming up here in a second, but make sure you follow me over on Twitter/X for more on Miami sports, whether it's the Dolphins, whether it's the Heat. Fans of both teams, unfortunately, and I'll give you the content you need every single day at Nic_Rohloff. I wanted to take a look at his last 4 opportunities to come from behind. And we go back to last year, 2024, week 15, game against the Houston Texans, where Miami, on a little bit of a winning streak late in the year, they go on the road and beat Houston, and they win a couple more games late. They go 9-8 and maybe are in the playoffs. Maybe 10-7 make the playoffs. Down 20-12. That's a typo on our end. 20-12. Minute 44 to go against the Houston Texans. First play goes deep for Tyreek Hill, intercepted by Derek Stingley. Then we come back to this year. Just last week, week 2, against the New England Patriots. Down 30-27. You get the ball with 7 minutes to go. Driving down the field. About 3 minutes to go. Intercepted on 4th down by Marte Mapu. Then the Dolphins actually get the ball back. Defense gets a stop, forces a field goal. Down by 6. Minute 42 to go. You have a timeout. Turnover on downs. And then the game on Thursday. Down 28-21. Get the ball back with 7 minutes to go. You're driving, and with 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to go, intercepted in the red zone. Franchise quarterbacks get it done late. And I think it is unrealistic to expect Tua or any quarterback, just say you throw up those 4 drive situations, to go a perfect 4 for 4. I think that is unrealistic. But the elites, the ones that can lead you to a Super Bowl, inspire a fan base, inspire your team, inspire your coaching staff, they're going 1 of 4, 2 of 4 at the worst. They are. And I think it just comes to a larger conversation on Tua, to be honest. I feel like he's lost all confidence. I think he has. You watched a quarterback in week 1 against Indianapolis who was scared, who was panicky, in the pocket. He was. And I don't see him regaining that confidence either. I don't. It's just check down city, man. 22 completions for 146 yards. His average depth of target in this game was 5.7 yards. And you can just see in the passing chart. One attempt, 20 yards downfield, and it hung in the air and was a 500 ball. Now, you look at Josh Allen's passing chart from the game on Thursday night. His is actually worse than Tua's. He didn't go past 20 yards either, and he actually barely went past 10 yards. But the way Tua is progressing, it is just check down, check down, check down, check down. That's how it is. And how about this from NFL Insights on Thursday's game? 1 yard per completion in the air. It's the lowest mark of his career. He finished 3 of 10 for 35 yards and 1 touchdown on passes that traveled more than 10 yards down the field in the air. But, as we always talk about the O-line with Tua, he was protected. He added an average time to throw of 2.98. He was not sacked once, and he was only pressured 12 times. So what does that tell you? He had time to throw. He did not get sacked, and he still couldn't push the ball downfield. And that's really the moral of the story of this offense right now. This Dolphins pass attack, it does not go downfield. There is rarely any explosive plays. They tried one to Tyreek in week 3. He could make the catch. I think he should have. Tua and Tyreek did connect on a deep ball in week 2, but you only have one explosive pass play this year so far. I just don't have a lot of confidence in number 1, man. I don't. But let me know your confidence level. What's your confidence level in Tua? 10 comments, scale of 1 to 10. Let me know your thoughts. And I wanted to revisit the A-dot here because it just further emphasizes how often Tua is checking the ball down. And this offense has become one of the least explosive offenses in football over the past 2 seasons, even though they were top 5 in explosiveness in 22 and 2023. Last year, amongst qualified quarterbacks that had 50% of the leading quarterback dropbacks, Tua ranked dead last, 26th in A-dot, 6.1. But you see his numbers in average depth of target through 3 weeks, 7, 8.2, 5.7. He is just not going down the football field. If you wanted to know the leader in A-dot this year, by the way, it is Jordan Love at 13.1. And yes, they've all played only 2 games. The 2 was 3 at this point. But the point remains, 2 through 3 weeks, his average A-dot is 6.9 yards. That is almost less than half. Just over 50% of Jordan Love's A-dot. And there are only 5 quarterbacks entering Sunday, week 3, that has a lower A-dot than Tua. Surprisingly, Jared Goff. The other 4 don't surprise me, though. Bo Nix stinks, by the way. Just bad. Joe Flacco, Jalen Hurts. That's been a major talking point. And the veteran Aaron Rodgers. I think Jared Goff's the only one that surprises me because they do push the ball downfield quite a bit with Jameson Williams and company. But, man, it doesn't surprise me that these 4 bums have left A-dot than Tua. The point just continues that without the explosive plays, without the ability to push the ball downfield, it's going to be hard for this offense to consistently move the football against good defenses. I mean, listen, the Dolphins scored 3 touchdowns. They scored 21 against the Bills. I would consider that a disappointment because I don't think that Bills defense is good. I would expect Miami to be able to get 4 touchdowns or at least to 28 points. 27 points should have been the bare minimum against Buffalo. Couldn't get it done. More coming here in a second, but we are sponsored by Mando. Fall's here. Crisp air, football, maybe even a bonfire or 2. But if you're like most guys, you're still putting in hard work. And yeah, that means sweat. Don't let body odor sideline you. Mando deodorant Plus Sweat Control is for real working guys. Clinical strength sweat control, one swipe, and you're good to go. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours, and after just 12 hours, underarm sweat was reduced by 92%. This stuff works. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. One of my favorite items in that little starter pack is the deodorant wipes. I'm always on the go, whether I'm traveling, running errands, playing golf, playing basketball, going on a road trip, flying to visit my girlfriend. Does not matter. These things always come with me because if I need a quick freshen up on the go, the deodorant wipes are perfect. And I love them. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code CHAT. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. As we continue the conversation on Tua, I wanted to share a quote from Kurt Warner, a veteran, a legend. And I got to be honest, Kurt Warner has come to the defense of Tua, I think, quite a bit. He actually did a breakdown of the Tua interception in that fourth quarter against the Bills, and he did not put all of the blame on Tua. But this quote, to me, is just so damning on Tua and why I think he should be moved off of sooner rather than later, and he's not a franchise quarterback. Kurt Warner said on Twitter, if he has a QB that can play, I will take one interception a game because they are not afraid to attack down the field and threaten the defense over one who doesn't throw any and lives in the check down world. One scares the D every snap, has them on their heels, and leaves them hoping they get the one mistake. The other has the D licking their chops, playing downhill and attacking every throw. Well, what Kurt Warner just described is the complete opposite of Tua. Warner is fine having a quarterback that makes one mistake a game, throwing an interception, but is constantly challenging the defense, spacing them out vertically, which then will result in more opportunities underneath and more successful run plays. But the issue is that Tua is turning the ball over every single game. 2 interceptions week 1, 1 in week 2, 1 in week 3. And if you go back to last year at the end of the season, he turned the ball over a ton as well. So Tua is not pushing the ball downfield, but he turns the ball over every game. So it's the opposite of what Kurt Warner says and wants. Isn't that just awesome for Miami? Isn't it great? Our $50 million quarterback, first year, 4-year contract, is this garbage? It's awesome. I mean, 6.3 turnover-worthy play percentage. It's the third highest in the NFL. I mean, I think the one thing we could have said about Tua early on in his career, accurate, anticipatory, doesn't turn the ball over, doesn't put it in harm's way. But now, he's become inaccurate, check down Charlie, but turns the ball over and puts the ball in harm's way more than almost more than any other quarterback in the NFL. It just has been a snowball. It's been like an avalanche for Tua ever since that 2023 season. Plays 17 games. Ever since that season, it's just been a snowball into mediocrity in bad performances. Rounding out the show here in a second, but if you want free, informative coverage on the Miami Dolphins every single day, this is the channel for you. I won't hold it back. I'm going to give you my unfiltered thoughts and opinions and analysis every single day. Subscribe and join the family. Over 75,000 people have already subbed. Join us. I mean, the limitations on Tua are just so, obvious. And this isn't groundbreaking news to anyone. But when you go through everything we have already discussed on today's show to this point, but then you start to factor in how limited he is in terms of creating out of structure, his arm strength, and mental toughness, it is very hard to justify and defend him being the quarterback of this football team for much longer. And I actually think that this past Thursday night against Buffalo might have been one of his best games in terms of creating out of structure, specifically late in the second quarter when he delivered a couple plays out of the pocket on 3rd and long to create the opportunity for Miami to tie the game up going into halftime. But the one drive and a couple plays late aren't going to make me believe he is now back to creating out of structure. They're not. And it's like this quote just drives me up a wall. Tua, before the game this week in a press conference, asked about Josh Allen, said he's top tier. Definitely a different skill set for me. I can't do half of what he does when it comes to running the ball and with how he can just chuck a ball downfield. I understand that he is speaking nothing but the truth. I say that every single day. You guys understand that. The rest of the NFL understands it. But it's not about it being truthful. It's about you not absolutely glazing your opposing quarterback before a crucial Thursday night football game. It's also just giving, victim energy. Oh, I can't be as good as Josh Allen because I have an injury history and I don't have a strong arm. I can't do that type of stuff. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, and how about you start playing good football? I used to think Tua was an awesome dude, a great leader for this team when he was in his first couple years in the league. When did this guy become so unlikable? The way he treats some of the people in the media, the way he deflects blame onto himself sometimes and criticizes teammates and coaching staff. This guy got paid last offseason before 2024, and he just turned into a whiny loser. It just is unfortunate. And I think most of you guys at home watching this stuff has been able to pick up on it as well. And a lot of us want to move off of Tua. I have fully joined that regime, if you will, of moving off Tua. But based on the contract, we're stuck with them. Because who is going to trade for Tua with that contract and his limitations? Who's going to do it? Not many, if anybody. And the Dolphins can't cut him unless Stephen Ross is fine with $99 million in dead cap, which I don't forecast he is, until after the 2026 season. So we're likely stuck with Tua for the rest of this season, which is no surprise, but next year as well. And I assume Miami will have a new GM and a head coach for 2026, which means they will start preparing to find Tua's replacement. But it is unfortunate that unless a miracle happens, Tua is the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins for the 2026 season, which is not great in my opinion. And I don't want it. All right, I'll do it for this episode of Dolphins Today. Like I mentioned earlier, continue to bring you daily content, 2 videos a day, weekly live shows. Subscribe and join the family.